second wave, saying the country will not close, and what he added. Tonight, several states reporting cases on the rise now as we reopen. In Alabama, for example, where cases jumped by more than 600 cases. Images tonight of a high school graduation, masks to get in, but not everyone choosing to wear one. Tonight, the warning from Dr. Anthony Fauci saying, quote, now is not the time to tempt fate. The head of the CDC warning a second wave is likely coming and that a second lockdown cannot be ruled out. The president with a very different message just a short time ago, and you'll hear it. And the new study tonight raising questions about late action taken by the U.S. Could 36,000 American lives have been saved? The president responding to that as well tonight. We are also following breaking developments at this hour, the terror attack at a U.S. naval base in Texas. Video tonight capturing the sound of gunshots, now being investigated by authorities. The alleged gunman trying to speed through the barrier, opening fire. Authorities looking for a possible second person of interest tonight. The shooting rampage, new video coming in, shoppers seen running at a shopping center that had just been reopened in this pandemic. Several hit what the suspect allegedly told authorities about why he did this, who he was targeting. The flood emergency playing out in the Midwest, those dams failing, the torrential rain in the forecast now as it moves east. And tonight, the new and ominous headline, the new Atlantic hurricane forecast is out and what it suggests. The sudden guilty plea from actress Lori Loughlin and her husband, what they now admit to, and how much prison time they'll get. And we have breaking news as we come on tonight in the Ahmaud Arbery case, the man who captured this video, and what we've just learned tonight.
This is ABC World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and it's great to have you with us here on a very busy Thursday night, and we will get to that attack at that naval base in Texas, the dam emergency and storms on the move, but we're going to begin here with the major developments in the coronavirus here in the U.S. The head of the CDC making news when he said it is very likely there will be a second wave of the virus here in the U.S. and that he could not rule out a second lockdown. But the president late today refuting that, saying the country will not shut down again. And as this country nears the Memorial Day weekend, the toll now more than 94,000 lives lost here in the U.S. The president saying late today, if there is any second wave, whether it's an ember or a flame in his words, we are going to put it out. But we are not closing our country. And tonight, the new study that says the U.S. was slow to act and suggests 36,000 lives could have been saved. And all of this amid an update to guidance from the CDC that caused some confusion today. So here's what the CDC is saying tonight. And they said they have said this before, that COVID-19 spreads mainly through close contact from person to person. And while it may be possible that a person can get COVID by touching a surface or object that has the virus on it and then touching their own mouth, nose, or eyes, that's not thought to be the main way, that it's mainly through person to person, through respiratory droplets. And so we have a lot to get to tonight. We'll carefully guide you through it all, and Eva Pilgrim leads us off.
Tonight, the head of the CDC and the president talking about a response to a second wave. This, as Director Robert Redfield said, one is coming. He pointed to the southern hemisphere's cooling temperatures and spike in cases. The CDC director not ruling out a second lockdown, saying, I can't guarantee. What I can say is that we are committed to using the time that we have now to get this nation as over-prepared as possible. But just moments ago, the president said a second lockdown won't happen.
Whether it's an ember or a flame, we're going to put it out. But we're not closing our country.
The CDC updating their website, reminding people the virus does not spread as easily on surfaces as initially thought, saying, quote, the virus spreads easily between people, adding, touching surfaces or objects is not the main ways the virus spreads. With the entire country now easing restrictions, this image in Hoover, Alabama, nearly 400 students graduating, the stadium was not at full capacity. Masks were required to enter. Some took theirs off during the ceremony while social distancing. This is Alabama recording 676 new cases just in the last 24 hours, one of 7 states with increasing cases. In Texas, they held graduation in an 800-seat football stadium for just 7 students. But in Minnesota, they've banned large-scale graduations. Dr. Anthony Fauci warning against relaxing the rules too soon.
Now is not the time to tempt fate and pull back completely.
Tonight, a new study finding that if social distancing measures had gone into place 1 to 2 weeks earlier, it could have prevented 36,000 deaths. Columbia University saying 61% of cases may have been avoided if officials on all levels of government had done more.
We may lose 100,000 people in this country to COVID. If this country knew more and knew it earlier, I think we could have saved many, many more lives.
President Trump responding today.
I was so early. I was earlier than anybody thought. I put a ban on people coming in from China. Everybody fought me on that. They didn't want it.
The president railing against Columbia University, saying it's a liberal institution, calling the study a political hit job.
Eva Pilgrim with us live tonight. And Eva, you reported here on antibody tests last night. So many problems with many of them. And tonight there's also late news on this, that some of these antibody tests are now being pointed out by the FDA. The FDA moving to shine a light on tests that they actually see as problematic, putting them on a list on their website.
That's right, David. They've identified 27 of them that they say don't meet their criteria, either because they didn't submit the right paperwork or because they pose, quote, a significant problem. The FDA says they do not expect those tests will be distributed. David.
All right, 27 tests, though, pointed out by the federal government tonight to watch out for. Eva, thank you. We're also following breaking developments in that suspected terror attack on a U.S. base in Texas. The FBI now warning that there may be a second person of interest on the loose. Authorities are investigating this video now of the shooting. The suspect opening fire at the gate of the Naval Air Station in Corpus Christi. A sailor was shot and wounded, saved by her bulletproof vest. The gunman was killed in a shootout. But as I mentioned, there is now a search tonight for a possible second person of interest. Here's our chief correspondent, Justice Department, Pierre Thomas.
This morning, the naval station in Corpus Christi, Texas, under attack.
Attention all units, they have an active shooter on base.
At approximately 6:15 a.m. local time, an armed suspect speeds through a gate on the base. Authorities looking at this video with what sounds like gunfire. He gets out of his car, reportedly pulling out a handgun and firing, hitting one sailor in the chest who barely escapes serious injury because she's wearing a bulletproof vest. Other security guards respond. With gunfire of their own, he's wounded and later dies. The FBI has not yet identified the shooter.
We have determined that the incident this morning at the Naval Air Station Corpus Christi is terrorism related.
And tonight concerned he may not have acted alone. A search underway for another individual.
We may have a potential second related person of interest at large in the community.
So let's get right to Pierre Thomas tonight. And Pierre, your sources now indicating that authorities are somewhat concerned that extremists may try to launch attacks while America is trying to fight this coronavirus.
That's right, David. In recent weeks, federal authorities have been warning local police that potential mass killers, from white supremacists to Islamic radicals, may see the coronavirus crisis as optimal timing for an attack. David?
All right, Pierre Thomas on the scene unfolding in Texas. Pierre, thank you. President Trump tonight making his third trip to a battleground state in just 3 weeks, this time meeting with American workers at a Ford plant in Michigan. It all comes amid those difficult new numbers, another 2.4 million Americans filing for unemployment, more than 38 million now since this all began. And as the president toured the plant, he was pressed on several issues, including why no mask, with workers there wearing theirs. Here's our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl, tonight.
Today, President Trump left Washington for the third time in 3 weeks to visit a state key to his re-election, this time Michigan. He toured a Ford plant that's now building ventilators, maintaining social distance, but once again opting not to wear a mask, even as those around him did.
Not necessary here. Well, everybody's been tested and I've been tested.
Masks are required at the plant, and Michigan's Attorney General had urged him to wear one.
Today's events were extremely disappointing and yet totally predictable.
The president has never been seen in public with a mask on, but he revealed that he does have one. He said he wore it behind the scenes.
Here's my mask right here. And I liked it very much.
His visit to Michigan comes just a day after he threatened to cut federal funds to the state because election officials there mailed voters applications for absentee ballots. The president falsely declared that was illegal. Michigan's governor, who is dealing with not just the pandemic, but also a massive 500-year flood, urged him to stop making threats.
Threatening to take money away from a state that is hurting as bad as we are right now is just scary, and I think is something that is unacceptable.
Still today, the president ramped up his baseless charges about voting by mail, saying it should be reserved for sick people, for people with a reasonable excuse, and for himself.
We don't want to have vote by mail. We want people to vote. Now, if you're president of the United States and if you vote in Florida and you can't be there, you should be able to send in a ballot to vote, to really vote. And without fraud, you have to go and you have to vote at the polling place.
There is no evidence of widespread fraud in voting by mail. Senator Mitt Romney pointed out that 90% of voters in Republican-dominated Utah vote by mail.
It works very well, yeah. Our vote by mail system works very well in Utah.
And so let's get right to John Karl tonight. And we already know, John, that mail-in ballots are sure to be a big issue this year, with many Americans obviously concerned about this possible second wave of coronavirus come the fall.
Well, and several states are expanding vote by mail. In most places, David, this is an entirely bipartisan movement. And it's important to say again, there have been multiple studies that have shown no evidence of widespread fraud in mail-in voting. And in the states that are doing this, safeguards are put in place, significant safeguards to ensure that there will be no fraud and that people, only eligible voters, are able to vote, whether they're voting in person or by mail.
We'll stay on it, of course. Our chief White House correspondent, Jonathan Karl. Thanks, John. Now to the state of emergency in Michigan, where the president was today, of course. Record flooding hitting right in the middle of this pandemic. Homes and businesses now surrounded by water after 2 dams failed there. Some homes lifting off foundations, floating away. Thousands have been forced from their homes. Tonight, flash flood watches now in effect for Virginia and the Carolinas. Heavy rain moving into the Northeast. So let's get right to Rob Marciano, who is live in Michigan again tonight for us. Rob?
Good evening, David. So many rivers remain in flood stage. Behind me, you can see one of those failed dams, and all that debris pinned up against those hydropower gates. From above, you see exactly where that dam was overtopped, and water continues to pour downstream, where we're still experiencing major flooding here in Michigan and across much of the Midwest, where flood warnings remain, and across the Mid-Atlantic as well. Heavy rain with this continues in the Carolinas, Virginia tomorrow, and then spinning up into the Northeast on Saturday before it finally moves out to sea on Sunday. David?
Rob Marciano with us again. Rob, thank you. There are new developments tonight after that shooting rampage at an outdoor shopping mall in Arizona overnight, less than 2 weeks after the state lifted its stay-at-home order. Police say 3 people were wounded when the gunman opened fire with an assault rifle. The 20-year-old suspect allegedly posting chilling video on social media. He was taken into custody. Prosecutors say he told them he was targeting couples and that he felt he'd been bullied in the past. There's also late news tonight in the Ahmaud Arbery shooting investigation. The man who captured that video now arrested. William Roddy Bryan has been arrested by Georgia authorities on charges including felony murder. Bryan recorded the confrontation in February that left Arbery dead, the video going viral and ultimately leading investigators to arrest Gregory and Travis McMichael. We're going to turn now to the ABC News series Pandemic, A Nation Divided, the coronavirus taking a toll on communities of color, as we've reported here for weeks now. Tonight, the death rate in the Bronx, the highest here in New York City. Families, especially families with essential workers, facing new challenges when everything they relied on, including money, school, and childcare, are suddenly gone. Here's ABC's Adrienne Banker tonight.
Hi, my name's Talia. I am 7. Hello, my name is Tovel.
It's been said that children are more resilient than grown-ups.
We live here in the Bronx. This is John.
Hi.
But like so many across the U.S., families here in the Bronx are dealing with the immeasurable stress of life on hold. The death rate here due to COVID-19 is strikingly higher than in other parts of New York City. Add to that financial pressures. The household poverty rate in the Bronx is 27%. Many families rely on just one income.
My husband is also an essential worker, and his shift has changed. He now works nights.
Tamara South is temporarily unemployed, but at home, the work never stops with virtual classes.
Yeah, I miss all my friends and teachers. Sometimes you just can't do it. You just don't want to wake up. You don't want to go on the computer.
When it first happened, there's not a day that I didn't cry. The Zoom calls, the emails, and we had to adjust very quickly, which was really hard, especially for the kids.
The biggest challenge has really been access to technology.
Daniel Diaz runs Eastside House Settlement. They're donating tablets and hotspots to families in need.
Thank you so much. 70% of our kids aren't reading at grade level as it is.
With summer just around the corner, basketball is banned. Summer camps and youth programs are closed. Mercedes Rogalewski worries about what's next.
One of the biggest challenges is going to be finding stuff for John to do.
That has to be tough for parents who already might have childcare issues and juggling really tough schedules, overnight shifts.
We have some parents that are finding neighbors or people that have been furloughed from their job to watch their child. So it's becoming more of a community effort.
And David, Eastside House Settlement has a summer youth job training program they're looking forward to implementing, as well as a food distribution every couple of weeks, proof that it still takes a village, even in the worst of times. David?
No question about it, Adrienne. Thank you. And our reporting on a nation divided, on these communities in dire need of help, tonight on Nightline. We'll see you then. In the meantime, the news continues tonight, and we're going to turn next here to the sudden guilty plea from actress Lori Loughlin and her husband in the college admissions scandal, what they now admit to, and how much prison time they'll get. Here's Deborah Roberts tonight.
It's a stunning reversal, a guilty plea from actress Lori Loughlin and husband Massimo Gianelli. Under a deal with prosecutors, Loughlin would serve 2 months in prison for conspiracy to commit wire and mail fraud, pay a $150,000 fine, and do 100 hours of community service. Her husband would serve 5 months on 2 fraud charges, pay $250,000, and perform 250 hours of service.
It may have paid off that she and he waited until now.
The couple accused of paying $500,000 to get their 2 daughters into USC as rowing recruits, sending the scheme's mastermind, Rick Singer, photos to help create fake athletic profiles, though neither girl rowed competitively. Hi, guys. For months, they insisted the payments were legitimate donations, accusing prosecutors of misconduct.
Lori Loughlin and her husband realized they weren't getting this case dismissed. Yet prosecutors have also recognized that maybe their case has a couple of holes that they hadn't counted on. And I think that's what ended up bringing the parties together.
Loughlin and her husband will plead guilty tomorrow via video conference due to the pandemic. If a judge signs off on all of this, it'll probably be about 90 days before they're sentenced. David?
Deborah Roberts with us live here in New York tonight. Deb, thank you. When we come back here, that new and alarming headline, the new Atlantic hurricane forecast is out and what it suggests could be coming this year.
Find things that bring you joy. Find things to remember.